Welcome back, YouTubers. This will be video number 3 for the Hooked Up Fishing channel on YouTube. Just getting this channel started. I want to do some videos and start doing some video editing, so you're welcome to subscribe and comment. Give some pointers if you're a YouTuber yourself. Little novice at this, but we'll see how this goes. Something I've had some interest in myself, and something that I've had some others ask me about. My setup here is jet ski fishing. I got a deal on a jet ski that really couldn't pass up. It needed some work. Being a project person that I am, I decided I'd take that on and see what I could do with it. Did very well. Hadn't been running 5 or 6 years at least until the end of the summer, and it gave up the ghost, so it's in need of a top-end rebuild right now that I'm kind of in the process of doing. But before I locked the motor up, I did get a chance to take it out fishing several times, and this is the result of kind of some online research and I guess a budgeting way of going about making my own rack for the back to transport fish and rods and bait, stuff like that. The issue with fishing on jet ski is if you're going to take any amount of equipment or anything like that, you've got to find that place to store it, the place to be able to use rods, put rods when you're fishing into rod holders. And they make some racks, aluminum racks, steel racks, and I've seen them range from about $250 for kind of a basic one up to, I think I've seen some of the aluminum ones and stainless ones go for up to $600, and that would be just for the rack and maybe some transportation rod holders. So I decided that I would kind of think up something myself and try to see if it worked, and I do believe it was a success. It did work very well when I took it out fishing. So we'll kind of go over what I've got here. This here is my fishing rack. It's, you know, pretty basic, pretty simple. The base for it is a 70-quart Igloo marine cooler. Gives me enough space to put ice, fish that I catch. Even actually separated this one off. A third of it is now a bait tank for fishing crappie. If I'm cast net and mullet at the surf or at the beach, it allows me a place to put it. But I'll try to go over each thing that I've got on here. Spin this around for you. We'll start at the back. Alright, here in the back I'll just have 6 vertical tube rod holders, and this is what I use to transport down the lake. I don't really use the accessory holes in the back simply because it's hard for you to reach over the top and get to, especially when you got rods in them. 2 U-bolts here that you can see. Those are used for attaching the back of the cooler down to the jet ski. I use 2 ratchet straps, and I go into a crisscross pattern down to U-bolts that are in the transom of the jet ski. This allows you to hold it down very tight. I've done 60 miles across the water, jumped the wake, had the jet ski completely out of the water, and this whole unit is supported very well on the jet ski. I'll kind of tip it up here. Get my camera to let you see on the bottom. The way I did this was mounted it up higher with 4-inch PVC pipe. This being a way for me to access it better. It didn't sit down so low, but this also allowed for any water that got in the footboards to run out under the PVC and keep the cooler from blocking it. from running out as much. Alright, let's turn to one side. We'll start on one side. This side I've left the drain on this side because this is the side my bait tank is on. I will eventually, if I continue using this and I don't sell the ski, I will put a drain on the other side to drain the water out. But as you can see, this particular tube here I use for my anchor tube. I've got a Manus anchor for a jet ski that I put down in here. Allows me a space to be able to hold it, keep it from having to put it in a compartment. On the other side I've got a tube for a small gaff, and I've got a tube to put my net in. I've got a collapsible net that I usually keep with me in case I need it. 2 vertical rod holders here. These are usually used for transportation, but I have them mounted, as you can see, at an angle so that you can use those to troll with if you were out on the lake trolling stripers, trolling pretty much anything that you would at the beach or offshore if you want to take it offshore. Same thing in the front here, 3/8 U-bolt with a tensioner here, and the purpose of the tensioner is there's U-bolt on the back of my jet ski used for towing or strapping the jet ski down. What you do is connect the tensioner to that U-bolt after you've strapped the back down and pull this forward. And by pulling the whole assembly forward, you tension it down. That way, you don't get any movement of it whenever you're going down the lake. 2 adjustable rod holders on the front. These are just a Canon rod holder. I like them pretty good. They have a ring, allows you to open it and lock the rod in here. Several different ways of mounting these. This was a way to be able to have an adjustable mount to where if I wanted to change my trolling angle or just to sit and fish anchored up or drifting, I could have something to put a rod in to where I could change it around. This here allows you 2 ways to put it in. It's a little more difficult to put it in the top here, just with the lid of the cooler, but if you move them around you can get them in there. On top is a rocket launcher holder. This is also adjustable in both the angle that you set it at and you can adjust it to point any direction that you like. So if you just like to troll this particular rod, you put one rod in out to the side and troll one. And this one, since it doesn't have the locking ring like these do, I did have a bungee put on that I can reach up and put over top of my reel, just to keep it from going anywhere. Alright, let's go inside. I've got a little latch, makeshift latch on, keep it from popping open when I'm going down the lake. Inside is the crudeness of making your own jet ski fishing rig. The only issue that you're going to have is in mounting all of this on here, you have got to mount it some way. So I've used all stainless hardware with fender washers, and this side here would be my cooler side. Put my crappie, whatever fish that I've caught and need to put on ice. I think I was able to put 20 pounds of ice in here easily with drinks and a couple fish, keep them on ice. This side here I use as my bait tank with just a aerator, battery powered aerator on the side. The way I made this was using this is like the it's like sign board, corrugated plastic board, and used 1/2 inch foam, just styrofoam. Glued 2 pieces together, put the corrugated board on the outside to keep the water out. Used silicone, and I think this other was a polyurethane. It worked a little better for keeping it in there and keeping it from moving. I did have at first some sealing issues, sealed off here, but the best thing that I found to seal the water out is some JB Weld plastic weld. Worked real good. It's like a putty. Knead it together and put it on. It doesn't take very long. It'll set underwater. So when I found the issues, I had actually put water in it and was fixing to go fish. Realized it was leaking out and used it to just seal off a couple of the bolts where I had put them in. But overall, it's kind of a crude design. A lot of people have liked it. I did use a seal around the top to seal off and kind of keep the bait water from splashing over into your ice side whenever you're going down the lake. But overall, it's a cheaper way to go in my opinion. There's still at least about $250 in this mount, but you know, you could have a minimum of that in a cooler holder. So this, in my opinion, was a better way to go. Here is a neat little thing. These are, I think this is just a boat access that you can get, similar to what you'd have in a canoe. Just a screw off lid. I used a roto zip and cut a hole out of the top, silicone the over top of the foam and top of the cooler. But this way, if you've ever fished with mullet in saltwater, you know that they like to jump out anytime they see daylight in a bait bucket or something. This way you can open just a small area instead of having to open the whole lid, you know, especially if you've got a rod and your rocket launcher here. Allows you to be able to open this up, reach down in, get your bait, take your dip net and dip the bait out and get it out, and then close it off and seal it off. And also keeps, you know, if it's a hot day or something, keeps you from opening up and letting the cold air or out or the hot air get into where your ice is and melt your ice a lot faster. It's a decent setup. It does do its job, but I wouldn't do this with a Yeti. You know, you don't want to take a $400, $500 cooler and start drilling holes in it. But I think this, I think this is like a $40 or $50 Igloo cooler, so not too bad. Most of your cost is in the stainless hardware. You use anything else, you know, it gets wet. Saltwater especially is going to start to rust that very quickly. But overall, it's a decent setup. It does work well. Maybe this will kind of help some other people and give some other people some ideas and allow them to come up with their own design. I've had a couple people ask me about it, and even some interest in possibly buying it. But as of right now, I think I'll keep it and see if I can catch any more fish with it once I get the jet ski back up and going. I'd like to sell it with the ski if I do sell the ski, but it's jet ski fishing is kind of a niche market, I would suppose. But we'll see how things go. I hope everyone likes this. Like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and I'll get some more content out, and I'll actually get on the water and get some actual fishing videos out. I'm gonna have a friend that we've both got YouTube channels and starting to add some videos that we're going to try to do more of a non-professional standpoint, do some point of view fishing, you know, not really like you're watching the Outdoor Channel on Saturday morning watching a guy out bass fishing. So we're going to try to do some crappie fishing, some cat fishing coming up this spring and summer, and get some stuff out. We've got a couple offshore trips, one in April, and then I'm going to try to book a 24-hour trip in the fall to do. But we'll see how that goes, and we'll catch you on the next video, and thank you for watching.